Okay, it says that we're live. Let me check.
Okay.
Yes, we are live. Okay.
Yay!
Well, hello. Thank you everyone for being here. My name is Dr. Arlene Dijamco, also known as the MultiDimensional MD. Welcome to another show of Dr. Arlene and Maudy. I'm an integrative physician, a pediatrician, and cranial osteopath. And my mission is to help bring the intuitive spirit back to medicine and in a practical and tangible way. I'm here with my friend Maudy Fowler, who is a mystic and angel messenger, as well as an award-winning international author and inspirational speaker. Her book, Heavenly Messages, co-authored with Gail Hunt, won the prestigious Best Inspirational International Book of 2008 in Europe over fellow nominees, Dr. Wayne Dyer and Deepak Chopra. So thank you, Maudy, for being here. I always love having these chats with you.
Oh, and thank you for having me, Dr. Arlene. And good morning to you all at home. And I'm so glad to be back. I'm always getting excited to address the new topic and to exchange thoughts with Dr. Arlene. So thank you for having me, Dr. Arlene. How are you, by the way?
Oh my gosh. Yes, it is. It has been a crazy week and so much happening for everybody. And so that's why this week, our topic is the healing power of love, because I feel like everyone could use more access to healing in all areas of life, like whether with relationships, with things going on in their life, with unexpected things popping up in their life. And so, we wanted to talk about more about that healing power of love and how you can access it and bring it into your life more to make life a bit more joyful and easier. And yeah, Maudy, you came up with this topic. So what made you think about it?
Well, Dr. Arlene, like I said, when we ask each other, how was your week? My week was pretty intense with all the phone calls from the people who get really panic stricken with now what's going on in their lives in reference to, all of the COVID things. Of course, many people don't want to talk about it anymore and just looking at it day by day, which is the best way by the way, because living in the moment is the best thing. And, when you cross a bridge or whatever you come to face, then I would say face it and embrace it. But always, my beliefs are so strong to always turn to faith, that when you're facing again your crossroads or your standstills or the things that come your way in reference to all of these difficult hardship levels, it was this whole week again in reference to that part of COVID and that part of, what to do, Maudy. Shall I stick with my job? Even the healthcare workers, Maudy, we talked about it in April with the Zoom presentation. I'm still here, and, is there still a way out? So anyways, it was pretty intense for them, but with the information provided and letting them look forward, my world is about giving people peace of mind. You all at home, or you all who know me, know that my world is about changing luggages into backpacks. And so when you come to our world and having a me and you are exchanging thoughts in that aspect, then after the phone call, it gives a little bit more relief. And then we work with what we need to, with what we have. And in this time, this is what I explained, Dr. Arlene, the whole week. Look at what you do have. Look at what you can do, and look at who you are. With the healing power of love, it's faith. Love is faith. You all are here to draw strength from the hardship that is coming your way in whatever way. Okay. Many people who dealt with losses. I had many people who lost their homes, fire, flooding, murder. It's all, of course, sad, but you know what? We are here to let you look forward, to hold on to that healing power of love, because love will conquer all. And we need to just draw that moment with faith. And then people say, but Maudy, it is too much. It's I had a person who had 3 losses in 1 week. Yes, it's too much. And yes, how do you handle that? It takes you to embrace love, and faith. And even when you can't in that moment, if not today, then maybe tomorrow. But know that God always has you covered. You only have to look back to see what bridges you had to cross. So, and that's, Dr. Arlene, that's what I actually share with the people, and help them move forward this way. So you all who are tuning in, maybe there's a message for you from Dr. Arlene and from what we address to each other and exchanging thoughts. And maybe you then know how to handle some things that come your way. What do you think?
What I've been seeing is just that people could step into more gentleness for themselves, because when you are facing a lot of things, and it can be uncomfortable. And so everyone is in such a rush. If I could just be over this, if I could just be on the other side of it, then I'll be okay. But the thing is, we still have to live through. And so to be gentle with yourself, and that gentleness is some patience with yourself too, because it's actually more efficient in the long run. When we try to rush, and what we do is we take ourselves out of the present moment, and then we're over there, or maybe just we're not where we are now. We're in the future, but we are where we feel like if we could just skip this part, but we can't. We can't skip the present moment, because the present moment is really all that we have. And so to be gentle and patient with yourself, and that takes a lot of self-love, because when you're gentle with yourself, there's an acceptance of, as I am right now, I'm okay. Even though I'm going through something really hard, I'm still deserving of love. I'm still deserving of my love. I'm still loved by the universe. And so that gentleness and patience through your self-love and trust that you will be carried through it can be a different way of handling things for people, because especially in our culture here in the US, things are about like being much more fast paced. And with the pandemic, things have slowed down, or it's slow down and then try to speed up and then slow down again. And it's back and forth, and it's really messing with people's mindsets. So in that mindset of like Tai Chi and the gentleness of energy work, it's this non-resistance where you can flow with what is going through you, what is going on in your life. And that takes a lot of gentleness. I know the Tai Chi masters, they're supposed to be so gentle, but full of strength. Gentle does not mean weak at all. Gentleness to me is a lot more strength than being aggressive, because that gentleness allows you to flow with life. And the Tai Chi masters, they are able to so flow that it's said that a bird cannot lift off from their hand, because they're so in the non-resistance that the bird has to be able to push off, but they can't push off because the Tai Chi master has so much gentleness and flow. And that is so much strength, and that can get you through whatever you're going through.
So, Dr. Arlene, did you have patience this week with facing, what we face in the world and stuff? What is the conversation with the patients in reference to their questions and how to handle their issues and stuff? Were you able to advise? What's the conversations? How did you handle this category of people?
So someone I know lost their job recently, and it was, very difficult. And so the initial reaction is to fight it, to argue it, and see if they could get it back. But from my perspective, it was, I think this is a blessing, because he wanted to move on anyway. And it, instead of like, if you don't have the courage to do it yourself, then your life helps you. So even though there's that initial like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? There's a reason why everything happens. And we don't always know what it is because I mean, sometimes terrible things happen and we don't know why. And it's okay. We don't have to understand it fully, but to trust and live life with no regrets. And then to know that you're always supported, and to live life like more fully that way. I saw somebody when I brought my daughter to get her driver's license, and she was so happy. This woman that was helping us, and I thought, this is so amazing. She's doing something that's maybe sort of routine every day, but she was just so happy, and she had written on her arm, "Live life with no regrets," and it had a butterfly on it, and she had a butterfly on her arm too, and it said, "Everything happens for a reason." And I was like, oh my gosh, that is such an amazing message for everyone. But it's really hard for our minds to wrap around that, because when things that happen that are really sad or terrible, it's like, why would they happen? And we don't know. So it's not always for us to figure out, but to know that things are unfolding as they should, and everything happens for a reason. And often it's through those difficulties that we go through that we grow the most. And it's not that I would wish difficulties on anybody, but we are able to grow as a person, as a being, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, even physically, because again, through that gentleness with the self of like, oh, I can get through this, but
Yes.
it requires that patience and gentleness and a shift in a mindset where you can live with no regrets and know, just keep moving forward. If something happened, keep moving forward step by step.
Yes.
It's a natural process of things that things are supposed to unfold and spiral out,
Yes.
as they're supposed to. And if all you do is keep taking one step at a time, it will happen for you. You don't even have to plan it all out. Your life will unfold as it's supposed to, but you do need to have the patience with yourself and the courage to just take small steps at a time in whatever direction you want. But if you keep doing that, it will unfold for you. Just like a flower blossoms and the tree grows up, we're the same. So all we have to do is keep going step by step on those paths.
Exactly. And, I totally agree. And that's what the conversation was as well, past weeks, in reference to people who deal with losses. And and I often tell people, it's not what happens to all of you, but how you handle it. Maudy, why did I lose my house? Maudy, why this, why that? And it's just the why questions. So for me, in my world, listening into heavenly information, it is just to let you all know that God has sent us to earth with love, for love, and by love. And to understand ourselves is to go through all of the hardship levels that are by our own choice or by other people's choices. And then it's affecting us. And then it's, usually for me, I have to point out the cause and effect, which will be also a peace of mind when you are having the conversations in our chat. And that's where I always say why God is giving us all of these things to endure is, again, you're right, to look at our strength. Never ever, people, the weakness. So if you identify yourself with our conversation, it makes it powerful, because then you'll have your own, moments to think and rethink the why questions, and then to get the courage and that power of love to say, okay, dear Lord, which way can I go now? What can I do? See, I always, say people turn to prayer and faith and prayer walks hand in hand, and then it's an escalation. Everything in life is an escalation. One thing always leads to another. So when I deal with the people who, I already heard about you, so house gone, water, fire, and it keeps on the flooding and it keeps on going and going. And you're right. It's always to recognize, okay, where do I need to build up? It's all about building up again and see. And that's actually why the moral of some things are to recognize that nothing is actually ours. Okay. And when you all have a chance in reading Angel Messages or the other book that Gail and I have written, Angel Whispers, then you also will find out, more about the moral of life, why things are sometimes happening beyond our control. But when we face it and embrace it, and this is Dr. Lee and how I explain it to people, is when you have to start from scratch and everything is lost, your memories are precious. That's what you put in your backpack. We know you have luggage, whether it is through all of these events. We know that luggage is now being replaced by a certain backpack that you can actually get all of those precious memories out. And those precious memories are also for you to treasure, to always, pick it back up. And that's where God is showing us that nothing is ours, even with the people we've lost. They were not ours to begin with. Parents, children, hard, rough. We always say when that happens, and especially the people who lost 3 people in 1 week, this is where I shared with them, okay, faith, God got you covered. And so, he's holding our hand and he's guiding us through. And sometimes it takes us to look back to see how you were guided through, and that now all of these things happen again. It's God already received you. So our mind is a powerful thought process that is straight connected to heaven. So with that mind, like you mentioned, the butterfly, the beautiful trees, if you can still see the beauty of life and the beauty around you, many people can't. But if you can, hold on to it and draw big love from that, faith, and start your prayers in your mind, because heaven received all of your prayers. It's all up there. It's just being processed. So the universe will process it. The angels will process it. God has the angels and all of that, what's in the universe, processed for you. Might take some time. And you said it, the courage, the patience. Yes, we all need to draw that. But take that moment for yourself. And then, like I said, let it just conquer you. So love will always conquer. And even though it's hard in this rough time, I know that there's prayers, there's will, there's way.
When things feel like they're very chaotic or crazy, then I'll pause and I'll tell myself, oh my gosh, this is such an interesting time to be here on Earth. And it's like a movie. If you're watching a really great movie and it's a really good part of the movie, but you get to live it. And exactly. It's not hard, but the good part of the movie is not usually the easiest part of the movie. And it's not that you stay in that part forever, but you don't want to miss it. And so that's what I kind of back up and I'm like, what an interesting time to be here. Even so much is going on. And then I just pause and think, well, how can I make the best of it anyway? What step could I take right now, even though all of this is going on? So, and that's all you have to do from moment to moment, because you don't have to figure it all out. You just have to know what you're doing at this very moment. And when things change so much in your life, there is a lot of grief with it. Of course, losing loved ones, losing your job, losing your home. Those are, of course, grief, creates lots of grief, but also for yourself, because who are you? You have to figure out, who are you without all of these things surrounding you? They didn't determine who you were anyway. The external and the surrounding, even other people, don't determine who you are. So this kind of stripping away everything leaves you with your being of, now who am I without all of this? And so, last week, which is really interesting, Maudy, I know you always talk about like, oh, if you see a bird or a cardinal, and then it's messages from your angels and loved ones. Well, okay, so I walked out of my house and then I saw a dead bird on the ground. And so part of me, I knew this was some sort of sign, but I was thinking, I'm used to seeing the live birds flying around. And so part of me was a little bit creeped out by it, because I'll set aside some time. I'll need to bury the bird and I figure out how to do that. But I sat on it for a couple of days, just, wondering like, what does this mean to me? And then it came to me, I was watching something, and as you change and as you shift and grow in your life, it can feel like a death of the old you. And even crossing, as people cross over, of course they have died, but then it's just a threshold and they go on living. But even during your life, if you are changing in big ways, there's the death of the old you in the past. Really, it's always like that. But when big things happen, it feels like a bigger death of yourself, even though you go on living. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because we are always changing. We're constantly shifting and growing. And sometimes we go through these major points of transformation in our lives, these major milestones where we are being asked to shift in a big way. And so that's what this bird reminded me of. One, that my dad is going on living, even though he's crossed over. And then two, for myself, that, this is a major transformation in my life as well, which means that I will have to get used to a new way of being me, which doesn't mean that I don't remember who I was before, but I have to move forward as me in a new way, in a different way. And it feels like a new identity, a new role, but it's still so beautiful. As soon as I realized the depth of that message, the bird was gone, which I was thankful for, because then I didn't have to bury it myself.
And that is so beautiful. And just to step in that conversation, with all of you tuning in and recognizing what Dr. Arlene is sharing with you, it's actually your loved ones are doing earthly work from heaven to help you do heavenly work here on earth. So you get here and there the messages, the epiphanies, the aha moments, your light bulb moments, in what, which was that my dad? Was that my mother? Was that such and such? So recognize that and see, with all of that, that is already the healing power of love being processed by them. They have approval from God to be in touch with all of you. So perfect example of the bird, perfect example, Dr. Arlene, and what you share with many people, because I know people can identify themselves going through all of this. So, I posted on, or Kelly, my friend from our Facebook, posted it, and I written The Healing Power of Love, a poem. So I would like to read that to you. And you can check our, of course, Facebook, Maudy and Gail Hunt official page, Facebook. And this is how it's read. The healing power of love. When you face uncertainty and difficult days, know that God works in miraculous ways. All you have to do is dial up with prayers and hold on to strong faith. Then patiently wait. God sends his angels from above to guide you with the healing power of love. And see, that will actually so much embrace you. It will energize you. It will empower you. And that's what we need in this uncertain time, insecure time. Let it just be uncertain time and insecure time, but don't let it be your uncertain time and insecure time. Don't let all the setbacks in life, if you face it, don't let it set you back. So always see what you can do. I think our conversation today was powerful for all of you at home. And I always thank Dr. Arlene for exchanging thoughts, because it can help you see life from a different perspective. And then to close it, Gail and I have written also Angel Love from Above. So what I'm going to do, it's actually my poetry, sayings, quotes, and I call them coat hangers, but it's Gail's photography, and you can obtain it through Gail or through our website or through our Facebook. I'm going to open up a page, and that page, amazing. Look at here. It's a rainbow. I just opened it up just like that. There was no bookmark in there. So that's your message, people at home. And for you all who are tuning in, this is what it says, okay? It says, turn to faith and fear will disappear. How cool is that? And then you see, this is Gail's picture, rainbows. Rainbows. So this is your message for you at home.
Yes, yes. And that's a deep faith, because if you knew everything was going to work out and be okay somehow, that you would be okay in a way.
Yes.
Wouldn't worry. You wouldn't worry. And that's a lot of faith, and that's a lot of love for yourself, and trust in the universe, and love of others too, because a lot of our worries for others as well. So somehow it's okay. Somehow. And we don't know what that looks like, but it all works out.
It all works out. And see, that is actually, people call it fortune cookies. So let that message be a message for you until we get together again right here and at the same time. And then Dr. Arlene, what dates do you have in mind, and what are we talking about?
We'll be here live again. On next time, we're going to talk about overcoming obstacles, because there's a lot going on in the fall. And I think people will need to hear more about that. So we will be here on September 29th, 11 a.m. EST on YouTube Live. And if you want to connect with us, please do leave a comment. We would be happy to respond. You can also find me on Instagram at All Worlds Health, or Facebook, All Worlds Health and Pediatrics, or my website, allworldshealth.com. And you can find Maudy also on Instagram at Maudy.Fowler.
Oh, perfect. And Dr. Arlene, if they have questions, can they contact you?
Absolutely. Yes, yeah. Absolutely. We're going to be getting together for another Zoom group with Maudy for her inspirational messages from the angel. So if you would like to sign up for that, just get in touch with me. I'm hoping to have a group sometime in September.
Oh, great. So I think for you all at home, I thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm always looking forward to visit with you in your home. And this is how perfect can this be, right? So please, ask the questions for next time, and hopefully we can address that to you all. So contact Dr. Arlene. And Dr. Arlene, I thank you so much for this moment and to exchange thoughts. And for me, it's see you next time, and see you all at home next time. Stay safe, okay? And you're in my heart and prayers.
Lots of love to all of you. And please like and subscribe if you haven't already. We will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.